So I'm a TCG girl that wants to grade sports cards for profit. So my main business model is grading Pokemon and One Piece cards, so raw to grade. And I would love to do the same thing with sports cards. The problem is that I don't know the condition of sports cards that well. I don't have as much familiarity grading them. So that's why I thought it was best that I buy a bunch of sealed wax. Sounds funny to say, and open them up to kind of compare the conditions and get more familiar with the cards before I start buying a lot of raw cards to send off for grading. So I went to Best Buy and I picked up mainly baseball because I feel most comfortable with baseball, and then I also picked up soccer. Soccer is appealing to me because I go sourcing in Japan already internationally a lot, so I enjoy international travel, and I can do the same thing with soccer. I would love to go to Europe to source soccer cards too. So I'll go ahead and show you what we got. So I know a lot of people say to avoid retail and go for hobby, and yeah, I probably should have listened. I think in the future, I'm only gonna open mega boxes and above. So let's start with my overall impressions of the products. What did the Pokemon girl like the most? I'm going to give it to the mega box of Top Stadium Club. We actually managed to pull a rookie auto numbered to 50, and it just had the most inserts, parallels, and packs compared to the rest of the products that I opened. So I do enjoy the vintage look of Top's heritage, but I thought that the quality control was worse compared to Stadium Club. I like pink sparkle designs, but we didn't really hit anything too spectacular as expected from a hanger and a value box, and soccer was basically the same too. We got one numbered card, I think, to 199. But let's turn back to the focus of grading. As a person who does Pokemon and One Piece raw to grade, what did I see? So I saw every defect imaginable on these cards. The auto was pretty cool, but it had some edgewear and then some whitening across the bottom of the card. I think Stadium Club was definitely more prone to print lines because of the glossiness of the cards. It kind of reminded me of Topps Now cards, but with slightly worse quality because of the whitening on the edges and corners. And then these cards seem a little bit more prone to fraying, but I do see fraying pretty frequently on One Piece cards, so it's nothing new. Just move those fingers back and forth. And then heritage, there was whitening, of course. Definitely some corners not pointing where they should be too. There were white dots and chips, but it makes sense because these are more paper-like. So this was the worst defect that I saw. It looks like the card got crimped somehow, and then there were some more lines dented in the card up top. Overall, not very beautiful. Now the one soccer hit we did get had some print lines, and the noticeable kinds, not the ones where you need to reflect off the light to see. I do get a little spoiled with One Piece because it's like a 90+% gem rate, and Japanese Pokemon is 85%. So one of the constraints about sports cards seems to be sourcing gradables quickly and at scale without headache. I think that sports cards have many unique aspects to grading, like autos, and that's just not something you do a lot of on the TCG side. So there's going to be new things that I need to learn. I have a lot of fun with Pokemon, but I do get bored sometimes, and sports cards is a different market and game. It is refreshing to see different types of cards, and I like the cinematic high quality shots that they took for the Stadium Club set. I think it's interesting how cards' values are tied to real people and their performance and the seasonality aspect of sports. I want to become a little bit more knowledgeable with soccer. There are a lot of different leagues, but again, going sourcing in Europe is something highly appealing to me, and I already go to Asia, so why not Europe? I think one of my main weaknesses right now is not being able to comp on the fly. I want to look at a card and go, okay, that should be around da 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 da. Maybe not 100% accurate, but not clueless. I think that just is going to come with knowing the sets better and just as my knowledge expands. So I do have a plan cooking with sports cards at the moment that I will go over in a different video. Rosalind's dreaded another video, aka 10 million years later from now. But yes, I have started doing something that is hopefully a good plan to source gradables quickly and effectively. Now, this channel is mainly TCG, so sports videos will come once in a while, but if you're interested in TCG or learning more about Pokemon and One Piece, then I'd love to have you here. If not, you can check on what Pokemon Girl is doing with sports once in a while. I might open some higher end products later on because I'm lazy and I don't like opening too many packs. But that's for the future. Now you better come back or else. See you in the next one.